Good morning, it's Dave at All Things Important Reviews. Thanks for checking my channel out. Please smash that like button and please hit that subscribe button for more awesome watch content. I thought today I would do a little comparison video of a 43mm sized watch and a 40mm sized watch, and in particular reference to the style of watches that have a fat supporting case in what you might call the Rolex Submariner style of watch, because these are obviously styled from that watch. They're a homage watch to that. I've got on my left, I've got the 1639, and on my right I've got the 1661. They are both the same watch essentially. It's just that this one is a 40mm version and this one is a 43mm version nominal. Now this one is actually further away from the spec than it really is, because this is actually 40.5mm. I've never ever measured the diameter of the bezel if you go off the bezel as the size. Some manufacturers do, some manufacturers use the case size. It all varies, but this is more like 40.5, 40.7, and this is 43. So they are closer than you think. However, as you can clearly see, the one on the left does have, and part of that is because it's got a black bezel, it is a much bigger watch. You know, there's a good 2.5mm difference overall. Now with these particular models as well, there is high variance in thickness, but there is less variance in thickness in the 43mm. In the 43mm, I've only ever had it about 12.5, 12.6, 12.7, whereas with this one, this is actually 12mm thick, whereas you can get it 12.9, 12.8 with some of the later ones. It's confusing us out, and the thickness does affect the watch. Now interestingly, the 43mm ones, even though they only have a slightly, very slightly wider bracelet, they're classed as 21mm, but they're not actually 21, it's like 20.5, and this is about 19 point something, or 20mm. So it's a tiny difference in the bracelet, even though it's a much bigger watch face and case basically, and yet they both feel very well balanced. This does not feel too top heavy, even with the same tapering bracelet essentially, compared to this one. This will have a 20 to 16, and this one I think has a 21 to 16, I believe, nominal. Interestingly, they do not feel significantly different in terms of the top heaviness. You don't feel like, oh my god, this one is just way too top heavy and this one is too, I mean, this one feels really balanced. This one is my favourite overall in terms of the feel. However, I do sometimes prefer, you know, the better wrist presence that you get on the 43mm. I'll put them on my wrist to show you. By the way, these are absolutely fantastic bang for buck watches. You won't get anything like this quality and appearance for the prices that you can buy them for, which is, I paid, prior to the Brexit thing, I paid about 65 quid for this watch, and this one I paid probably about 75 quid. You could even get them cheaper in the past, because of the whole changes to VAT and all this stuff, and how HMRC collects it. You have to pay more now, I believe. But anyway, yeah, so in terms of top heaviness, they both feel very similar, which is strange really, because this has a much bigger case. However, one thing I will say is that as the day goes on, the bulkiness of the one on the left, the 43mm, the 1639, does come into play more, and it is not as comfortable. This one is not as comfortable as this one overall. Now, but presence on wrist, it make the one on the right, the 1661 40mm, does look a touch dinky compared to the 43. Now if this case did not have this massive supporting, if this watch did not have the massive supporting case, and if the lugs were much more tapered, I probably would prefer the 43mm, because it is a touch on the small side, the 40mm. Obviously you've got the lug to lug difference as well, which is slightly bigger on the left. But I believe the main difference is coming from the diameter. But they're both super comfortable watches and they both look excellent. I want Pagani, just as another comparison, I want them to produce the two-tone in the 40mm. I can't believe they've not yet done that. Again, these are fantastic watches. If you want to pick them up, there's links down below at no extra cost to you. But I just thought I'd show you a comparison. For comfort, this one definitely wins, but for wrist presence and overall look, I probably do prefer the 43mm now. But for comfort throughout the day, if you're going to be wearing this all day long, the 40mm is definitely superior, because this head, even though it doesn't feel too top heavy, because it's got this big bulky presence here, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable after a few hours. However, this would work great on a rubber band. You can get one off Pagani, or you can get aftermarket bands on AliExpress and eBay that are absolutely excellent and are very similar to the Rolex Oyster Flex bracelet, which has a flip lock clasp like this. You can even get ones that have a sliding quick adjust. I'm going to do a video on sliding quick adjust as well, because even though they are superior to non-adjusting, non-quick adjusting watches, they are definitely overblown in my honest opinion. So yeah, but I just thought I'd do that comparison. Even though this one looks massive compared to that now, it looks so big, but in reality the fit on the wrist is not completely dissimilar. They've done a really good job of keeping them both comfortable, and a lot of that is to do with the bracelet. So yeah, thanks for checking my channel out, thanks for checking my quick comparison out. Hopefully it's helped some of you decide whether you want the 43 or the 40mm, just in general. Now, one thing I will say is that if you're buying a different style of watch completely to this, one that does not have a big fat supporting case in this kind of style, then the differences are even more, well, are more apparent. And I can't wear 40mm watches at that size. If I was to buy a much smaller style of watch that is just literally, circular, like some kind of dive watches are, they just have a small case with a circular face, I would have to go for a 43, 42, 44mm watch, because they're too small for me at 40mm. Same as a lot of these fashion watches that are dead small. Don't like them, they're not for me. I prefer them a bit bigger. I'm trying to think of other style of watches. I mean, I prefer watches that are within the dive style. It's just my favourite style of watch. The Rolex Submariner two-tone, the bluesy, not the black and blue, but the blue and gold and silver is my all-time #1 favourite style of watch. I love it. It just marries functionality with class and performance. It marries everything together in the most perfect way possible. 300-meter water resist, 2 seconds a day accuracy, ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, 904 stainless steel, gliding lock. I'm talking about the real Rolex one, and that is my all-time favourite watch. So this style of watch is probably my favourite, just to look at from a visual perspective, and probably to wear as well. Although now I'm moving towards, in terms of the bracelets, I'm moving towards the one that is on the Omega Seamaster 300M. I just think it looks superior, obviously for the watch it's on, and I feel as though it probably is comfier. Right, thanks for checking my channel out. Hopefully you enjoyed that little comparison. There's going to be loads more coming up. Nice one.